Hello, this is Saran Keith Bailey with Texas Justice Review. So apparently, Judge Stacey Williams has abandoned her courtroom and her cases, especially mine. I got a text this morning from the opposing attorney, Victoria Warner, and she stated, where is the link to the Zoom call tomorrow? I had no idea there was a Zoom call tomorrow, but apparently I checked on Judge Stacey Williams' page, court page, and it says, I didn't even know she extended the my temporary order protection, but she did, and it ends tomorrow the 27th at 3 p.m., and apparently there was a Zoom call. But she's been missing. She's gone from her courtroom. Because last night, and other things are happening. Last night this morning I tried to file an injunction. And her courtroom denied it. But previous to that, I filed something with family court and it went through. So her courtroom is doing it. I don't know if she knows about it, but I'm banned from filing things in a judge where I am her plaintiff. And I pleaded to her for help and security. And everything was fine. Everything was going fine. And she issued an order of protection July 31st. Then they tried to have it dissolved, and she said no, and she extended it till the 27th, and the Zoom call till 3 p.m. 27th is tomorrow. And then I tried to file something this morning after I heard this from the attorney, and it was blocked. So I went downtown to file it. And then I got a notice from her courtroom that she has a visiting judge, a temporary judge by the name of Charles Schwartz or something, and he's saying he's not going to honor her anything she's doing. He's sitting in for her. Now, Judge Stacey took this case since November. Well, was given this case since November. I sued my ex's attorney for fraud, and you can do that, yes. And then she tries to deny the case. Then they went and then I filed for bankruptcy when they tried to. I had an appeal. I appealed a family court case twice. And even during an appeal, they still proceeded with the case illegally and got an order to evict me and take my equity in my home to pay my wife's attorney, which is the one that I sued. And this is ridiculous. I've never seen so much corruption in my life. Mind you, there's $800,000 that was due me from my family court case that they also denied me and told me I'm not entitled to. Yeah. All I have in this house is $90,000. So that's what's going on. So I sued them for this. I sued them for the fraud. I sued them for concealing money and hiding it from me in family court. And so one case, my ex went to Judge Gina Slater. One went to Stacey Williams. This is just a little background. So the attorney has been trying to dismiss this case, but she couldn't. She can't. It's still staying in power. Despite that, they went and they filed to get my house, which is part of Judge Stacey Williams' case. My house is in her case as part of the fraud, right? So when they were supposed to take my house, I filed for bankruptcy. Bankruptcy stays everything. They went to bankruptcy court, my ex and the attorney, and filed to release the home because the home, they said, they have a right to take and sell. And I tried telling the bankruptcy court this, you can't do that. You can't take a home and give it to them to sell. And he didn't listen. Like almost him and the family court was in cahoots. Anytime there's an old white guy from the South, Democrat, they talk to each other. I know that, been in this business, seen them do it with other cases. Michael Snipes, the guy who's issuing all of this nonsense, he has a history of calling up judges, history of doing so. So anyway, Judge Stacey Williams was doing a good job on my case. She was telling him, no, you're not going to get this case. You're not going to put him in jail, all this kind of stuff. But suddenly she's gone. She's just disappeared. I don't know where she is. I walked by the courtroom after I filed this thing today. The white guy is sitting there, and he's not nice. He was nice before until he found out somebody spoke to him. They're all like that. They're all good until they get that phone call, right? And so I filed it. What I filed today was an injunction so the bankruptcy court holds a stay on everything. But the bankruptcy court took the house and sent it out. It didn't take half the house and send the other half. It took the entire house and said, you guys can go fight this off in district court, right? So as much as they have the right to try to take it, I have the right to protect it. That's equal protection under the law for this property. So I went to Judge Stacey Williams and I said, look, this property is part of your case, my case with you. I'm a plaintiff. Defend my rights. And she did. She did once, she did twice. But now somebody is telling me that what Judge Stacey did to them was she took their case and sent it to another judge so they can dismiss it so she wouldn't have to deal with it. And I hope to the good Lord that is not what's happening here. This is her case. And this guy is now telling me that unless the bankruptcy court sends the entire case back, he's not going to listen to anything I have to say. But I went through this with Judge Stacey Williams. I have all the motions and filings that explain the house is the only thing we're dealing with. So why are you changing your tune now? This is the kind of judge that nobody would vote for. Nobody would vote for to put in this seat. They voted for her. They voted for her because they trust her. And now she's gone. I can't find her. Nobody can find her. And now they're telling me I'm blocked from filing anything in the case until the whole bankruptcy thing comes back. Or the chief judge tells this white guy, like Michael Snipes, that you're authorized to go forward with something that Judge Stacey Williams has already gone forward with. The bankruptcy court already said we don't deal with the house. We're dealing with other stuff. So why now? Why the change? Why is she missing? Why has she abandoned her courtroom? And, just abandoned this case, particularly. Now, the good thing about this is the constable knew that there was a violation of a court order, and they sent a letter to the county that we're not going to arrest this guy. It's a family matter stuff. And there was a court order saying that he's not supposed to, that Judge Stacey Williams signed, that they're not supposed to hold him in contempt. That's my saving grace here. That's my saving grace. But my injunction to take the property and put it back into the whole case, where she can say, look, this property is part of the case. I'm issuing an injunction. And until my case is resolved with Mr. Baldio, no one is selling this property, which she already did. She already made those rulings. So now her courtroom is saying, I'm going to no longer do that. So I got to find out the law where she abandons the case, abandons my civil rights, abandons my due process in the middle of this protective rights. So I'm going to need to find out why she abandoned her courtroom and why she abandoned my case. And it was handed me over to an incompetent judge who doesn't understand the law as she does. She understood the law. She knew what was going on. She knew the house came back. She knew there was the bankruptcy, yes. And she even asked me, Mr. Baldio, what about the bankruptcy? And I told her during the last Zoom meeting, they're still holding that. And so she knows the house, the fraud is on stay, but she knew that the house can proceed. She knows that. She asked the question. So why does she suddenly abandon the case to this guy and disappear? And now it is going to be damages. This is not good. So I have to now do some research to find out if she's abandoned other people's cases as well. She's no longer in the courtroom. She's getting paid to manage these cases, and she just dumps them off to this white guy who doesn't even know what to do with them, and decided, well, I'm going to do my own thing. I'm going to run my own case. I don't care if it's Judge Stacey's courtroom. I am going to dismiss everything she's done. I'm going to ban everything she's done. So she's not here. She's gone. She's abandoned the courtroom. She gave it to me, and I can do whatever I want. This is Serrano, Texas Justice Review. And this is what we have to deal with. It's good that I go through this. The devil is always coming in, and that's why we pray for divine intervention to make sure this case is back on track. Hopefully she'll do something and revive and say, look at the cases and say, oh no, I have to do a temporary order, and this I already did too. I want this case as part of my case. It's not going to cause him any more damage, and she'll intervene. This is Serrano. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.